Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here this week with Ben, and alongside me I have Kirk.
Hello. Wow, that was weird. Why am I first?
I don't know. And Eddie.
Oh, see, that's your fault because I held my lawn until afterwards, so fuck you.
Okay, that's a strong start. So we're all not in the best of shape. We had a little weekend away in London, didn't we?
We did.
Pete didn't make it out alive, so he's not here.
What?
I don't know why he's not here, so...
I think
He's a busy man.
I personally think he's just making shit up.
He is a busy man. Well, he said he couldn't do yesterday. We're now recording on Tuesday, which is excellent.
In his defence, he said, I'm 90% chance that I can't make it. And then Kirk said, well, let's move it to tomorrow. And then Pete went, I'm 100% can't make it tomorrow. So...
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, that kind of backfired. But, yeah, so we're recording on a Tuesday, which actually is fortunate because the biggest news of the week dropped. We have the finale. It's a bit of a spoiler, but we have the finale of the Activision Blizzard Microsoft deal and the conclusion. So we'll go into that.
Right.
So actually,
For a start,
glad.
you can't spoil things that we're going to talk about in 1 minute.
Well,
and
I will
also, you didn't even spoil it. You said we've got a conclusion.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yes, I backtracked from the spoiler.
I would also like to point out, at least by delaying the podcast for a day, the podcast is not immediately out of date. So you're welcome.
Yes, and that would have been the fear yesterday. So we are incredibly topical here.
And Kirk, Ben's the only one that gets punished because he's now got to do the edit straight.
Yeah, I know. We can just go and do our own thing afterwards. It's brilliant.
I'll have a nap.
Yeah, I am furious, obviously, that I am working late into the night, but you guys just get to drift off to sleep or something. But anyway, here we are. Maybe we should get on with the episode because then that will...
Oh, Ben, you are not happy, are you? Let's go. We've got some quick news.
Right, okay, we're going to be doing the news, which you just mentioned. The new release is what we've been playing, which, after last week, does include Eddie's anticipated take on Redfall.
Yeah.
Highly anticipated.
Prepare yourself.
Highly anticipated. And our feature this week, in the spirit of Wimbledon and the tennis, we're going to talk about good tennis games of yesteryear and what our favourites were and where are the good tennis games now, because I have no idea where they are. So we'll go into that then. But firstly, let's start with the quick news.
Go.
Naraka Blade Point, if you remember that game, it's going free to play and it's coming to PS5. I think it's already in Game Pass. Am I right in saying that?
I
think it's already in Game Pass. I think it's a Battle Royale game. And surprisingly, I saw it on Steam last week and it's one of the most played games. It's like in the top 15 on Steam.
Jesus.
Which I completely missed. I would have just said that game was out to die, but it's not. So if you're into it anyway, it's coming to PS5 soon and it's going to be free to play. Next up, Lady Dimitrescu, or is it Dimitrescu? One of the two. The actress who played that character in Resident Evil 8, Maggie Robertson, she's going to be in Baldur's Gate 3. See if she gets the same reception, because it was quite the reception, wasn't it, when Resident Evil 8 came out?
This will be interesting because, let's be honest, if we're all being honest to each other ourselves, the reason why it was such high praise is because everyone found her very sexual because how tall and big she was. So
they did sexualise that character. Absolutely.
Super sexualised, yeah.
She even won the best
voice.
Character of the year or something? Was it best voice? Was it? It was something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that did, and she was hardly in the game.
Yeah, I think she was all in it for 12 minutes?
Oh, it was something tiny, wasn't it? Like all combined, I think it was 6 minutes or something. Like
she's in that section, and then she appears at various points, in the But regardless, anyway, she's in that game. Next up, the critically acclaimed Street Fighter 6 has now sold over 2 million copies. That's pretty fucking good. Fighting fans must be loving it at the moment. They've got Mortal Kombat 1 coming soon. But Street Fighter 6 has been a massive surprise, got incredibly high reviews. So
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I think they had a bad Street Fighter 5, and I think they've just revived it totally in 6.
So it was bad, and now it's good again. So that's what
I think they've got this world tour mode, which is supposed to be really fun single player as well. So I suffer. I like with those types of games. I quite like a fighting game, but I don't like necessarily having to go online and because I just get slammed.
This is the one, to be fair, I think, doesn't this is like open world and you travel to a bit different areas to fight people, if I remember?
You do travel to different areas in
Yeah.
the world tour, and you get trained by the different characters, and
Yeah.
I think it's like an RPG type thing, and you
Yes.
build your character. I think that could be quite fun.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess if you're a fighting game person and you saw that kind of hook, you'd want to play it. Fair enough.
Yeah. Next up, Yuji Naka has been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. So this is the story that we've mentioned again and again for the insider trading, the former Sonic creator. But the sentence has been suspended, though. So he's not going to prison right now. Suspended for 4 years, I think. It's not all good for him, though. He's got a £1 million fine to pay.
What's that in yen?
I don't know the conversion.
Did you
Do not know, buddy. But I assume it's recouping. I don't know. Does he have to pay back the insider trading gains as well as that? I don't know.
That's a very good point. I assume so.
Does that cover it? Does it?
He actually gets a fucking bonus for it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you can't like get some money in and then like have to pay a fine, which is I don't understand any of that. But anyway, that's the fine. Diablo 4's first season, it'll be starting on the 20th of July. So there was like a developer direct or developer presentation last week. For those of you who are playing, the Altars of Lilith and the map progression, that's what crosses over to your season. So 3 things to do before the season. You got to finish the campaign. You get as many altars as possible, and you get around the map as much as possible. Then when the patch drops on the 18th, so it drops 2 days before, during the 18th to the 20th or beyond, you just have to log in with your existing characters. As soon as you log in with that character, it transfers that element of progress, the map progression, and the Altars of Lilith over to your season. So that's literally all you have to do, but it has to port over the progress for some reason. It's unknown, I think, whether you have to do it both with, I assume it's separate with softcore and hardcore characters, but anyway, we'll work it out. Okay. But yeah, that's coming on the 20th of July, so I look forward to that one. We talked last week about the new Game Pass prices.
Yeah.
They are now in effect, so those prices have gone up.
That's what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Are you not having to pay for that?
Mate, I've still got like over 2.5 years. I'm good.
Shit, fucking hell, I thought you were coming up for a renewal or something.
I did in December, but I managed to do the old gold conversion 1-for-1. On that though, they have reintroduced the conversion from gold to ultimate, I believe. And
so what do you do on that? You buy a load of gold and then convert it?
Yes, but it's now no longer a 1-for-1. It's like I think it's like 3-for-2 or something like that.
So it's slightly worse.
Yeah, it's not as,
but still better.
It'd still be better. There's some hoops you got to go through. I can't think of what they are off top of my head at the moment. But
I fucking hate hoops.
No, okay, just move on.
yeah, I'm a full price boy.
Yeah, of course you are.
Apple have scaled back production on its new, extremely expensive augmented reality headset. So if you remember, not long ago, they presented these. It's supposedly the OLED displays that are causing problems with production or something.
Okay.
It's either that or they've lost confidence that the market would actually pay $3,500 for a headset.
I'd probably, being a bit of an Apple connoisseur myself, I don't think it's the latter. I think it will be a technical thing. It's a very ambitious project for them as well. So
it's an ambitious price.
Yeah, it's not aimed at me and you. It's aimed at developers and rich people.
I hope not.
I don't know if it's aimed at developers. It's aimed at, isn't it just like for normal ways of working?
No, it's for developers because Apple have made their own apps for it, but this is gonna be like what the smartphone was when that first came out. You need people to develop for it to make it worthwhile, making it a mass product. So,
right, you're saying that they need to get it out there so that people start developing for it.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see what happens.
A lot of money. Seems a lot of money to be spending on something which hasn't got an awful lot going on it. But
I'd argue that that's not the case. But okay.
All right, really? has it got a lot with it?
Really? 3.5K?
No, I thought you just said it had limited apps or something.
Yeah, when you compare it to how mature something like an iPhone or a computer is, sure, but it's a brand
nice
new...
little 80 quid iPhone.
It's not 80
$3.5
quid.
K, Kirk!
Okay, mate. Right. When you've got your headset in 10 years and you look back and go, this all started because of Apple, you'd be like, okay, brilliant. It's how business
You're
works.
such a fucking Apple fanboy, aren't you?
Yeah,
Jesus
and I
Christ.
don't
You
care.
are. No, big corporation fanboy. I think that's the perfect way to
Oh,
fair
no.
play.
And, no. Quick news, Ben. Quick news. Come on.
Quick news, right. Finally, you can play the Callisto Protocol for 1 hour on PS Plus Premium as a trial right now. Conflicting opinions about this game. Kirk doesn't know what he's talking about, but I fucking loved it. So you should go and play it. And dare I say, I liked it better than Dead Space Remake.
Yeah,
so.
I still need to play Dead Space so I can actually make the comparison, but...
Oh my god, have you not played Dead Space yet?
No, Eddie, Kirk likes to promise a lot and deliver nothing.
Yeah,
not,
you
not
said
even
you were
little,
going to play
just
that
nothing.
like day one.
Yeah, well, I didn't play it day one, but I did buy it like a few weeks later.
Evidently not, you still haven't played it, mate.
I bought it a few weeks later and it's just been sitting on my shelf, so...
Wait, so you bought it and you haven't played it?
Yep, absolutely. Waste of money.
Fuck my life.
Eddie would be furious.
I am furious. I'm not dead, Kirk. I'm right
I think I saw on Twitter that being brought up again recently. Kirk,
Yes,
wasn't it?
because we've got Llama Fluff and Metalli John who like to...
Yeah, you've got people that remember your
people
lies.
that remember... Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
I remember your
lies. Yeah.
When it's in an open forum, I'm fucked, yes.
Yeah, you say this amongst people that actually have memories.
It's more...
You're fucked.
No, it's screenshots, mate, okay? The snaky bastards.
No, people screenshot it because they know you're a fucking proven liar.
Yes. Yeah, you are a liar.
Right, anyway, Don't lie to us now, Kirk. Move on with your story.
Don't think I want to. Right, so, as Ben alluded to at the beginning of the podcast, Microsoft has won its court case against the FTC for the clearance of the Activision Blizzard deal. So, had they lost it, they would have been dead in the water on acquiring Activision Blizzard. But it now just comes down to the CMA who are in the way of this whole deal being officially okay. But basically what has happened is President of Microsoft, Brad Smith, announced today that it's prompted conversations between Microsoft and CMA to have a stay of litigation, and apparently it's in the public interest. Further to that statement, Smith said, while we ultimately disagree with the CMA's concerns, we are considering how the transaction might be modified in order to address those concerns in a way that is acceptable to the CMA. So essentially, Microsoft and CMA need to talk about concessions, and CMA are going to backpedal because they're the only ones saying no at this point. So yeah, I mean it's a big win for Microsoft. I don't think anyone really ever thought this was not going to happen.
Right. I was major on that side. Major.
I think a lot of people thought it might not happen.
How many times throughout this has it looked like holy shit?
All it took for the was if this case was the injunction was held up, then the CMA would have been fine because obviously that would have kind of vindicated their stance. Yeah. I mean, the FTC's argument was more on the case of Call of Duty and taking Call of Duty off of other platforms. But the CMA argument was more about the cloud. So they were talking about different conflicting things, but yeah, I think it really was. It was so on the edge. I mean, whatever way this went was it, wasn't it?
I wouldn't say it was it because there was just, I believe the report also said that had it failed, Microsoft would have gone through to fight against it because it's a huge deal. It wouldn't have just died.
But the internal deadline was a week away. Then that would have exposed them to have to renegotiate the deal and pay them $3 billion and.
I mean, that's
kind of shit.
Small money for Microsoft, let's be honest.
It's not small money, it's a material percentage of their overall deal costs.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it's
not small.
What's 5%? Hey, never mind. Anyway, it's huge. It's huge news. And there are a lot of people that are happy, and there's a lot of people that are upset. I mean,
yes.
I personally want it to be over because we've had too much news of it, and I'll just be happy once we're not talking about it. But the problem we're going to have is we're going to be talking about what is coming afterwards, isn't it? Like, oh look, we've got all this on Game Pass now, and oh look, we've got. Have you seen what the deals have been brokered with Sony, and how we're going to be pushing forward with Nintendo and COD and the cloud, and for fuck's sake.
I think there will. I think you're right, but this is going to be done pretty quickly. I think, like as I said, there is that kind of internal deadline with themselves and Activision. I think on the 18th.
One thing I will say, I'm sorry, I need to say, CMA. Do you reckon they're thinking, fuck no, we look like dicks now?
Well, they do look like dicks. That's probably why they feel that way, yeah.
They were relying on this decision because, as I said, it vindicated them if the FTC won on their side. And they didn't. And they've probably just thought, right, we've been told off by the fucking government now. Everyone else has said, okay. And because it was probably going to go ahead anyway, Microsoft were just going to, I assume, complete the deal and then just say, okay, well, the UK market is out of the game until we sort that stuff out. That then, their cloud fears were already dead, if you know what I mean. Like, if that was real, their fears about the cloud, that's already happened. Yeah. Like, presumably they're going to complete the deal anyway. So all you're doing then is hindering the market of the UK from any benefits, because the negatives are all going to come anyway.
And then the hatred for the CMA is just going to be even tenfold to what it was.
But I don't like is that we have a regulatory body. The regulatory body made a decision, and they've kind of been strong-armed and bullied, and by one of the biggest corporations in the world, obviously. And that does leave a weird sour taste, doesn't it? Like, that this can happen.
I get what you're saying, but they were also one of the first ones to come out and say no, and then piece by piece, all the other bodies were saying yes. So they kind of showed their hand too early, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, they were the big three, weren't they?
Yeah, but it shouldn't matter what other people say. At the end of the day, their opinion should be their opinion.
Yes, so their opinion should be valid on its own merits.
Well, that's the problem here, is because of the decision here, they've kind of backtracked, which doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional.
It doesn't. I genuinely think they need to come out and say the logic of the deal. Yeah. We believe the deal was going to happen regardless. Our negative stuff was then going to happen regardless. So therefore, we're just opting out of the good stuff. So if you know what I mean? Like,
the problem is, Ben, like the honest truth is probably because the FTC are, that's been settled. We will be punishing the UK people if we stick to our guns here.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. But it's almost like a logic puzzle that you have to say it in a way that says like how you've come to that conclusion, because otherwise you just look like you've been strong-armed and that you have no power whatsoever when you come up against anybody big. But we know that the CMA have got Meta to sell their interest in somebody, whatever they bought. It's quoted all over the place, but they made them sell that. So they do have, obviously they have a significant amount of power, but in this case it was kind of blown out of their hands.
Yeah.
So very, very weird. But I would suspect that this is going to get wrapped up very quickly. If you're Microsoft and their lawyers, all the papers would have been drawn up. Like, the papers are with Activision now to sign. Like, everything's there. There's nothing ready. There's nothing left to do on that side. And the stuff with the CMA, they've obviously now agreed to pause the litigation, or they've all collectively said that they're going to pause this and they'll go back to the table. Microsoft are probably saying, right, I'll see you at 9:00. It's get done.
Yeah.
So you could see this being wrapped up by the weekend, couldn't you?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, no, but yeah. I get you.
I definitely, if they're holding to this deadline, and if everyone's saying, if Activision is saying, well, if you don't hit that deadline, you got to renegotiate a price and all this kind of stuff, then that's getting done by the 18th. Like, maybe the CMA stuff takes longer, but you would assume there's news coming out in a few days that says it's all done.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Anything else on that one?
I've got nothing. I would like to move on.
Brilliant.
All right, I'll take us on. EA Sports FC news coming up. So if you remember, in May last year, EA announced it was no longer working with FIFA. the FIFA branding, after it failed to reach a licensing deal with FIFA. Reports claim FIFA wanted more than double the price of EA's licensing agreement, asking for over $1 billion for every 4 years, 4-year World Cup cycle sort of thing. Yeah. It's a lot of money, so EA went no. EA, though, now plan to release their first major football game not to carry the FIFA branding in nearly 30 years, which seems mental. Literally, my whole life there's been a FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite sad, isn't it? But as we know, there's a new game coming out. According to data miner Bill Kun, who was told of many accurate leaks, who has told many accurate leaks before, like PlayStation Plus stuff where he got it to the T, so we kind of know that he is good. EA Sports FC will release on the 29th of September this year. Not that surprising, to be honest with you, because that's normally when all the FIFAs come out, because it's the best time with the football season, etc., etc. But yeah, it looks like that's going to come out, guys.
Okay.
You excited?
No.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon to them picking up the FIFA license again, like in 2 years' time?
They could probably do it.
Because I like FIFA have come out and said FIFA will always have the best game of football. Blah 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 blah. They don't have a fucking clue that it takes 5 years to make a game.
Yeah.
And also to make a good football game. Jesus Christ, these guys have had 30 years at trying to make a good football game, and even that gets crucified.
EA know what they're doing, though, don't they? They've all the kind of stuff. They've tried and tested a bunch of shit. They know what works, even if it doesn't, and then they're
fucking experts.
Exactly. It does make me wonder whether, I mean, obviously this would have been a big cash injection for FIFA every time there's that new licensing deal.
Yeah.
But do you reckon they're looking at other studios to see what can be done so that they don't have to rely on EA? But then will it be a case that they go, okay, this isn't going to be quite what we think. Let's try and broke another deal with EA.
That's 100% the camp that I think it'll be in.
Yeah.
And I think EA after this game will smash it, and they will just go no.
I don't think they'd go no. I think the brand. I think the brand of FIFA is too powerful. When you think about the markets that it kind of dominates in, the brand name means a lot.
I'm with you,
but like
except
Kurt, gamers recognise the change. For example, to use the most obvious example, Championship Manager. Now, everyone loved Championship Manager, and when the team moved away and started Football Manager, don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people bought that first Championship Manager after that change, but fuck me, did everyone jump onto Football Manager after that?
Okay.
And now
that's a great example.
Does Championship Manager even exist anymore? I need to look that up.
I'm not sure it does now, actually.
Okay.
But that is a great example. I think EA are gonna. It all depends on the casual gamer. So does your casual gamer who buys only FIFA and maybe Call of Duty every year, do they know that this name change is happening? Are they going to bother finding out? Are they... is it going to sell? If it sells exactly like the current one is, there's no way in hell they're going to go back to the negotiation table, surely.
No, I guess not. I'm looking at it from a brand awareness point of view. Like more than anything, obviously they've made the decision to call this EA Sports FC. Obviously, EA Sports carries its own gravitas, doesn't it? Because that's what's
people
at the beginning.
People are going to still call this FIFA.
Well, yeah, there is that, but at the beginning of every game, it's always EA Sports, isn't it?
Yep.
So, to your point about are people even going to know that this is like a name change for at least for this current year? Probably not. But I think that the EA name will when they see there's no FIFA out. Well, that's fucking weird. It's been coming out for the last 29 years. Okay, I'll get this one then.
Yeah, a simple Google search, which most people will do, like how come FIFA's not coming out? Oh, FIFA is now EA Football. Then, I think
what I'm thinking of really is dads buying it for their kids, like young kids. Like, are they going to suffer in that market? Are they going to suffer in the real casual market? And they can't find FIFA, so they...
Eddy dads don't know how to use Google. They don't know how to use Google.
Again, Ben, like, I really do think, like, no, you know what? It's another clever reason why this news story is important. It's because they're releasing it exactly at the same time. Because I think EA aren't releasing a game, are they? Sorry, not EA.
Not
FIFA
this time round. No, FIFA.
So
no.
If they did, I think it's a travesty that they haven't. Because then they could have latched on to that market and they could have gone, we are FIFA. But because they haven't, people are going to do those Google searches to find out where the fuck FIFA is. They're going to find this and they're going to buy it.
I think it would need somebody like Konami to step up.
Oof.
And I know they had an absolute clusterfuck.
Yeah,
really?
Recently done.
Konami?
Forget about that. Forget about it. It's not free to play. It's FIFA. Go in there, say, look, we'll do your game, but not for $1 billion.
The problem you've got there, though, is if you have FIFA partner up with a lesser brand that has already had a bit of a bad track record, even if it's for a year or two, you're tarnishing the brand of FIFA.
But hang on. Let's not shit on them so much.
Yeah,
they had
come on,
PES, which was by far better than FIFA, in my opinion.
Eddie, if they said in 2 years' time, FIFA Pro Evolution Soccer was coming out, you'd go, hello.
I am a pure Pro Evo boy. I think I bought... Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I still got some FIFAs, but I would have chosen FIFA over Pro Evo, I think, once in my life. And
if it was called FIFA Pro Evolution Soccer 2025, you would look forward to that like it was the second coming of football games. I know you would.
Yeah, I really would. I would hope it's not free to play.
No free to play. They're going full price. They just that would sell.
Yeah.
Huge.
I'd buy it just to see what the mechanics felt like.
That would be the two football games back, like competing again. That's how they get back. Konami have to step the fuck up.
I always thought that, to be honest with you, FIFA is more like a movie. Like, some things are just predetermined. While Pro Evo, I thought the mechanics were so much better. God, if they did that, I would be all in.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Konami, wasn't it? Pro Evo was Konami.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think they're the only viable contenders. Like, who else do you fucking go after?
Well, I hate to say it, but it looks like EA are pretty, uncontested this time around.
Exactly. And that is why they can do what they want. And that does not help competition in football games, does it? Because they can just produce the same product and everyone has to buy it.
Yep. Well, sorry, Ben, but FIFA have been doing that for 20 years.
Well, they've been doing it with every fucking sports game going.
Football Manager have been doing it for 20 years.
Football Manager at least trying to revamp themselves. But yes, appreciate the point. Right, my news story. Turns out, I think Peter Molyneux is back. So he gave an interview this week, and he said that he's working on a new project with a game mechanic that has never been seen before.
Okay.
He didn't reveal any details on that, obviously. I think he's learnt from prior mistakes and lessons of bigging up games far beyond what they actually were and what people then were met in reality with. So I think he's learnt from that and just said, it's something you've never seen. But he did say the new mechanic will be part of a familiar setting, familiar to the likes of Fable, Black and White, or Dungeon Keeper. Those games all seem very different to me.
I know he made them. Complete polar opposites.
I know he made them, and there are some like God Sim familiarities between them. But
I see. I mean, so there's Black and White, obviously all God. Dungeon Keeper, you are the God, and Fable. No, I'm sorry, I'm not allowing
kind
this.
Of become the legendary. I don't know.
What? But I'm not God, is it?
I didn't fucking say it. He said it.
Ben, this is the most nonsensical comment I've ever heard.
He said it. I didn't fucking say it. Right, but it will be his first game on console in over 10 years. I put hours there. Over 10 years. And the first game where he's part of the coding team since Black and White. My hot take on this is Fable was just okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
I mean, it never appealed to me personally.
Oh, wow, you guys are so wrong.
But he is a legendary developer, and especially during early Xbox days, it was like fucking all Peter Molyneux. I've only ever thought any of his games were just okay, but I know you like Populous, didn't you, Eddie?
Oh, Populous, yeah, but Black and White, that was fucking
I liked Black and White.
When it came
I liked
out.
Black and White,
It was mind-blowing.
and it was revolutionary. But I just didn't like how you changed world, like you did the one world and then you went to the.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't know he did Dungeon Keeper, but I I would say it might well be one of the most played games as a kid for me.
Oh, there you go.
Generally think. I think wasn't it 1 and 2 was set like in an isometric view, and then was it 3 that was really stupid? I didn't play.
I've never played it, Eddie. Never played it.
Oh, Dungeon Keeper! I tell you what a game.
So you're buzzing that Peter Molyneux's back then?
There you go. Oh yeah, I am happy, of course, because I do think the games he's produced are amazing.
I think he's been doing relatively obscure, partly successful mobile games for years with his own studio, but don't know. But apart from the cracking Activision news, it was a relatively slow news week. We did have a story in here about Ark 2, but that got the boot because Activision, baby.
What happened with Ark 2?
Something like, to summarise it from memory, that Ark, they're remastering Ark, the original Ark.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I didn't know it either, Eddie. I said it like you should know it, but I don't. But I didn't know. So they're making Ark 2. Ark 2's kind of been like pushed back and postponed because we didn't see anything about that for Summer Games Fest, etc. Ark 1 is getting a remaster, which I think is coming out in October. And the only way to play Ark 1 will be on that remaster, which you have to buy for full price because they're shutting down the original servers.
Oh, wow. That's so naughty.
I know nothing about character transfers or anything. I don't know if that works. And to couple on this, Ark 1 has multiple maps now. They're not releasing the multiple maps. They're only releasing the first map at the first time, then they're going to release the other stuff. So instead of making the second game, they are remastering the first one, partly releasing it, and charging full price for you to continue playing. That was the gist of the story. I haven't got the story in front of me, so maybe I got some of those bits wrong, but I think that's the gist of it. So.
I wish that was in our main news.
That's bigger news than FTC, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Oh, sorry.
Well. Okay, let's move it on, Eddie, to new releases.
All right, new releases. It's not a bad week this week. Couple of gems in there. Let's start with Manic Mechanics, coming out on Switch July 13th. Your mission? Work your way through Octane Isle's 5 neighbourhoods, challenging the master mechanics that rule each part of town. Repair as many cars, trucks, choppers, tractors, mini-subs, and even UFOs as possible to prove your worth in this hectic race against the clock. We had a similar game to this, where you repair vehicles.
Is it not the same game?
No, it's not. I'm saying that with confidence. I think because the last one, I actually could find shit on it, but of course this one, because it's Nintendo, you have to.
Yes, because I couldn't find it on Steam either, so it's probably not the same game, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it's slightly different mechanics. There is racing in this one, for example, which there wasn't in the other one. So
Manic Mechanics.
Sorry.
When I searched for this game, it just came up with a garage in Bristol or something.
Yeah, that's what I've got as well.
Yeah, honestly, my notes. What are my notes? They are. I don't know what you do, and I don't care. Nintendo, sort your shit out. Because it's so... I'm not being funny. How shit are Nintendo at, giving you information about a game? Yeah, I know I say this probably every 4 weeks, but fuck you, Nintendo.
Yeah, their website is absolute liquid gash.
Liquid gash. That's graphic.
Could I just say before you move on to the next one, Eddie, that you need to up your vim and vigour because I know you're not feeling well. We're all not great. We're all not in a good space right now.
I am seeing flames. I
know. I know that you're not in a good spot. Kirk's also not in a good spot. I'm not well either.
Did you notice I struggled with certain very small words there? I said octane, and then I forgot to carry on reading. I was like, "Oh wait,
we're all aware of the pitfalls of reading a simple sentence." But we didn't.
Ben, you wrote the wrong thing. You said 10 hours rather than 10 years.
Fucking
we're all suffering. You fucking dick.
We are suffering. I appreciate that, but more vim, more vigour.
Right.
Okay.
There you go, Eddie.
Yeah. There we
go. Bring the heat.
All right. Bring the heat. Testament: The Order of High Human, coming out on PC, PlayStation's, Xbox's July 13th. Testament is a first-person, single-player action adventure. Really, three of them in a row. First-person, single-player action
double
adventure.
barrel, baby.
I love it. With bits of RPG and Metroidvania elements. Fuck me, they're just trying to go, like, cover all the tags, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Just like, if we just put everything in.
Eddie, no, I know what they've done. Right? What? This blurb, they pay per word. And on a word count, if they put a hyphen,
it's one word.
First in person,
it's one word.
Single player, action adventure. It's all one word. You know, we all went to university. We all know how to hide things in the word count. That's how you do it.
Right, I've got another one for you. Set in a post-apocalyptic. That's also
post-apocalyptic. Cybernated.
Fantasy World. They could have put one maybe between Fantasy World. They could,
yeah. They didn't. They didn't need it. It was in budget.
There you go. It offers a mixed combat with different possibilities and combination by swords, spells, and bow, while it is rich with platforming and puzzles. That's poor. That's poorly written. It looks pretty Skyrim-y. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it. The magic actually is pretty cool. The spells are pretty good, which isn't very Skyrim-y, because I don't think the magic was good in Skyrim. It doesn't appear to me much more than that. It doesn't seem quite deep, which is a bit upsetting. I thought the visuals were okay, though. I would play this if it was cheap, and something about it makes me think that it is going to be cheap.
Yeah. I loved the blurb. I read the blurb, and then I started watching the video of it, and I thought it looked okay. The first person kind of put me off. Your comparisons to Skyrim look very apt.
Yeah.
But it looked slower. It looked a bit shitter. But
yeah,
I don't really have much to say on it, to be honest with you. It's not. I mean, this is one of those games that's really not up my street.
What is up your street, Kirk? What's up your street?
I don't know. It put me on the spot.
I don't know.
I think like you said, it's like that Skyrim-y thing. I don't like the fantasy world kind of stuff. All right. Or you post
like the fancy.
Yeah, I don't like it. All right, I don't shoot the messenger.
You're not the messenger. You're the person.
That's true. Yeah, fuck that up. Good. This is going to be a long day, boys. I just don't like it. All right. I don't think it looks good.
Okay, fine. Fine. Well, you'll like this one, Kirk.
Will I?
See it.
Right, coming up for Kirk. Exoprimal coming out on PC, PlayStation's, Xbox's July 14th.
And Game Pass.
Exoprimal shut up, Kirk, is an online team-based action game that pits humanity's cutting-edge exosuit technology against history's most ferocious beasts, the dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like robots versus dinosaurs. It looks really fucking stupid to me. The visuals look good, but the combat looks manic, like you're just spraying loads of things. I shouldn't shit on it because it is Capcom, Kirk.
Yeah, you can shit on it because I watched this at the Capcom showcase and I almost fell asleep. I was like, what the fucking shit is this? So, yeah, this is not for me, Ben.
A lot of positivity from you today, Kirk, and I don't respect that.
Okay. Anyone going to play it? I might dip into it, to be honest.
Have a go, mate. Have a go. It's on Game Pass. There you go.
God.
It's on Game Pass, yeah, and I haven't yet. I need something to just dip into.
You could just throw another fucking 50 hours to Diablo 4, couldn't you? So.
Nah, I'll go into that, but I'm going to do my little bits and I'm going to wait for Season 1.
Okay.
But Exoprimal, it's got a lot of advertising. They've really pushed the advertising.
I think it's because there is nothing much else coming from Capcom that people, I guess, expected. You know, like...
Is that what you got from the showcase?
Yes, because there was nothing there. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks really shit. But, you know, it's a 50 quid game on Steam, which is a Game Pass edition, so I might dip in. See how bored I get, you know?
You're not going to dip in.
I'm not going to dip in, Coke, thank you. Mm-hmm. Next one, Jagged Alliance 3, coming out on PC July 14th. The country of Gran Chien is thrown into chaos when the elected president goes missing and the parliamentary force known as the Legion seizes control. Ugh, so much phlegm. Higher mercs meet interesting characters and fight in tactically deep turn-based combat in this true successor to a beloved franchise.
Okay.
I saw an advert for this. I've seen a few adverts for this. And every time I haven't looked twice because the guy's voice is so fucking annoying that I've counted down those 5 seconds to skip advert. Which is upsetting because obviously this is the Jagged Alliance series. The creator of Jagged Alliance 1 and 2 is back to make this. There were spin-offs of Jagged Alliance 1 and 2, which did really, really badly. He wasn't involved in that, which is really interesting. And he's back to make this one. So all I'm saying is watch this space. It's got XCOM tactics, but you don't get like percentages and stuff, so it's more like a real RPG kind of thing. Each character has loads of stuff like stats, perks, traits, phobias, talents, etc. The world map is big, and you get to kind of choose where your own missions are and why you do them and stuff. And of course you can mod weapons, which is an immediate win in my book.
You put a silencer on it, you're all in.
You can put silencers on guns, Ben. Just saying, I've looked into it, and you can.
Brilliant. That's all you need to know.
The developers are Haymont Games. Definitely not pronouncing that right, but they're the ones that made like Surviving Mars, the Tropico series, and all that. And the publishers are THQ Nordic. I think I will pay big money for this.
I was going to say, based on how much you've researched it and the amount that you've just explained to us, that is the biggest second blurb I've seen you put in.
Yeah, I am really, really excited for this. There are a few things that I'm going to wait to see streamers play it. One of the things is kind of the forever gameplay. I know the world map looks big and you can kind of choose your different things. However, I want to know what purpose there is to do it. So I think if they nail that aspect, this could be a huge game for me. I think this could be a few 100-hour game for me.
Yeah,
so.
when I saw this, I thought it looked right up your street because it does look that XCOM meets Wasteland type combat.
Yep.
It looked what I did like was the first video on Steam for this. It's different to every other video I've seen on Steam. Like, it was very much like a developer discussion, and they're very much saying like, okay, this game series has a pedigree. They then said, oh, it had all these spin-offs, and then they said they were all shit. We're going to try and make good games like the old ones.
Yeah.
That's why we brought back the original guy, and look at us, we're all young people who are really big fans of the series. Like, that was basically their advert for it.
Yeah.
Like, we know what the series is. We're going back to the roots, but we are young and we get it. Yeah. And I really like that approach. Like, you just don't really see that, and it did stand out from the 10 games that we look at every single week for it, like actually advertising it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that they've gone down like kind of their original roots, but they've also blended loads of different things. I think this could be an absolute world beater.
I like that they just said, and they had all these spin-offs and they were shit.
Yeah.
And they say, like, they actually said in the video, and I think they used this turn of phrase or something equivalent. They went, so we brought back the original guy to make sure that we don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you swear? What?
Yeah.
So exactly. I like these guys.
Yeah, well said. It's sitting at 40 quid. I mean, well, it's got 20% discount, so it's 32 quid. I think this could be a really good, like, £30 game. I really do.
Not much more then for you to get involved.
I reckon, yeah, maybe a month to see gameplay and then wait for the next 20 to 30% discount, and this could
CD
be...
Keys might be calling you.
Well, I will be keeping an eye out. It's on my wish list already, so there you go.
You could have said, like, keeping the phone on or something. Loudspeak, maybe.
What?
Because I said they'd be calling, but don't worry. Don't worry, move on. It's fine.
Wow, that was poor. Kirk, I assume you have no interest in this whatsoever?
I have zero interest in it, but, you know, there's been 2. They must be good. So, I mean, it's definitely one of your kind of games. I can see that this is the kind of thing. It's very, very deep, detailed, mechanically. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, it looks like a good computer game, so you're not interested.
You're not interested. Sure. I go to your point. You know, Jagged Alliance 2 came out in 1999. So
yeah, well, there you go. You know, takes a while. Takes a while.
Good.
Yeah.
Takes a while to make games these days. All right, fine. Our mission today must be just to try and find Kirk a game that he likes.
Yeah, go on then. Aim everything at Kirk.
Right, next one. Kirk, this one's for you. Coreborn, Nations of the Ultra Core, coming out on PC, so Kirk won't like it. July 18th. A social survival game set in the open world of Ultra Core. Build, grow, and defend your town. Survive the elements and Sorgoth's onslaught. Great name. Cooperate as you go on adventures to loot, gather resources. Fuck me. Is English my first language? It is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Gather resources and make history. All of it together with friends old and new. That's a weird way to end. It's a multiplayer survival game where you can like build bases and stuff. You know, like your Valheims and those other ones. It's got kind of third-person cartoony visuals, which are not for me. It's also a very packed genre, so it's a tough one to beat. Kirk, what do you think of this one?
I mean, aesthetically, it looks all right, but it's just not the kind of thing for me. You know this, and also a survival game. That's not the kind of game that I like. I fucking hate.
He's not a survivor. He can hardly make it through the winter.
Exactly, fish out of water and all that jazz. Remember, it's just not a thing for me. Do you reckon? So obviously you compare this to something like loosely to like Valheim. Do you think? You said it's a crowded space. Do you think this has any legs though?
No. No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? Like, I say no. But how many times have you like seen a survival game that you don't think it's going to do well, and then just like loads of kids end up playing it, and then it's one of the biggest games? So
it all depends on the mechanics and how they pull together and how early access type. Because survival games usually release in either early access or just not well.
Yeah.
So it all depends on those initial reviews, but it does look like cartoon. It does has that kind of almost Fortnite aesthetic to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially the characters, the way they run and stuff. Yeah.
And I don't know how many younger people are playing PC survival games. I think that's a very niche game type.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Fortnite type kind of people that play those.
Yeah, and
games.
people. Yeah, and I don't think those visuals are I don't. Survival games usually look shit like Valheim. So.
Okay. I see what you did there. You're trying to get a rise out of me, but I'm not going to allow it. Next one, unidentified falling objects. Oh, that's clever because it's supposed to be flying. Coming out on PC and Switch, July 18th. Unidentified Falling Objects is a unique mashup of platforming and puzzle-destroying gameplay. Players are dropped into the puzzle where they must dodge the falling obstacles and destroy blocks to make big combos. Oh, fuck me. So this is like, you jump in and it's like a bit, I don't know, like Tetris, and blocks come down and you can like shoot and move the blocks over to other blocks, and then if you destroy that block, it'll destroy all the other same colour ones that it's touching.
It's just a time killer, isn't it? It's a time killer.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Kurt, because it's just like I was watching this and I was thinking, first of all, my first impression was, oh fuck, and then it was like, no, sometimes for some people and sometimes even for myself, you just want a game which is like just a nothing.
Yeah, I think this is that.
And this could be it.
That is just nothing. Yeah.
It sounds like you're defending it, but at the same time you're saying stuff like, it's nothing.
I am, but I realised that taken out of and in context, that sounded bad.
There you go.
Fuck me. There's a free demo on Steam, which I think will give you everything that you need from this game. Is that harsh?
I think
no. I think that'll be true.
I think that's a little bit harsh, but
no, you're wrong.
No,
coming from a guy who hasn't liked one game yet this week.
This is the game you come to the defence of, Kirk.
Sure, okay.
Kirk, are you going to buy it?
No.
Right, brilliant. Let's move on to Viewfinder. Oh, Kirk might like this one. Coming out on PC and PlayStation's July 18th. Challenge perception. redefine reality, and reshape the world around you with an instant camera. Viewfinder is a new single-player game offering gamers hours of interesting and fun experiences while uncovering the mysteries left behind. So, you use a camera to change reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like if you've got a huge gap between you and the next platform, you take a picture of the floor in front of you, then you move that, you get the photo, move it in front of you, and that becomes the platform.
Yeah.
I know that sounds simple, but it's honestly, watch gameplay.
I've seen some of this, and it does look pretty incredible. It's very mind bendy as well, like the kind of thing that you could fucking trip out on this.
I think it would be amazing in
VR?
PSVR.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
taking a photo and then it appearing in front of you and putting it somewhere. Like I actually,
because it's the depth perception of the photos and how it all kind of works, and obviously there's two different scenes working together or against each other. Yeah, that would.
It's a really, really interesting mechanic. Yeah. I just like they emphasize that it's like fun and interesting. What really put me off about the trailer, what really put me off, and it made me question things in life. It said,
wow.
Had somebody in it who went like, "Oh, this guy said like this is really exciting," and I then took a moment. I thought, I'm not sure I've ever said that unironically. I'm not sure I've ever said that I've been excited over anything, and definitely not this.
Hold on, you've never been excited over
this isn't
anything.
A game. This is interesting, but it's not a game.
I mean, the whole point of a game is to figure something out. There's a means to an end for it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a puzzle.
And some people might absolutely love it. To me, it's like this looks like a chore. But I really like the look of the mechanic. I appreciate that it's really interesting, but exciting is the last word that
I'm very confused by your take on this, to be honest with you.
Right. I'm going to defend Ben. I think Ben's being harsh, but I do see his point. Like, out of all words, exciting is not the word to use to describe this. I think it's really clever. I also think I think the visuals and the atmosphere of the game is actually quite nice and relaxing. And here's the ironic thing. I wrote that down, and then I looked at the publishers who are Thunderful Publishing, who did Planet of Lana.
Oh, there you
go. Which, of course, I think the atmosphere is really good. I do agree with Ben. Like, I would say if I was the developer, I'd be going like, oh, it's beautiful, it's atmospheric, it's mind bending, it's puzzling, and yes, I would avoid using exciting at every aspect. But that's to not say this is a good game. I think this is quite a good, simple game.
Yeah, it looks mechanically quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't think. Am I being too pessimistic here? I don't think you could physically do this in VR, could you? It must be really hard to do mechanically, right?
It might be, but I just think that would really make it mind-bending. It looks to me like if they could orchestrate this in VR, then that would
maybe it would be
incredible.
I imagine it would probably be quite maybe straightforward to do, but to make the user not feel sick because of how deep, like the depth and everything like that is, I think you would have motion sickness very quickly.
That'd be insane. That'd be like Inception. You know when they go around the city and like turning the city.
Yeah, because that would
be
like
that. Yeah,
yeah,
full Inception type thing. I reckon that would be the way to play this.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Kurt, do you like this game?
I like the look of it, and I've seen it in other things that I've been watching and listening to. It's something that has come up, and it did pique my interest. And it is a PS5 game, so I can get it if I wanted to. I'll see how it goes.
That's all I needed, Kurt. I just wanted the mission of finding you a game this week, and I've done it. So don't you worry. Right, let's move on to Blackout Protocol, coming out on PC July 19th. Blackout Protocol is a top-down co-op shooter with persistent roguelite elements. Team up with two friends to delve into the depths of a top-secret research facility overrun with otherworldly horrors. Arm up, shed some light, Eddie, come on, and take back control or die trying again and again. It's a co-op twin-stick shooter. The visuals are okay, yeah, not bad. But that's all I have on it, to be honest with you. I used to hate twin-stick shooters until The Ascent, and now I don't shit on them anymore, so I'm not going to shit on this. What do you guys think?
I like the look of it. It's just that the trailer was confusing because it says, like, team up with friends or go in alone. And then they have a voiceover that says, but you're not going in alone. And you're like, no, but you just... I can do, right?
You said I was.
So I don't know whether you can literally do it alone or you have to have AI people with you, and that always makes me feel like if it's a one player or up to 3, that's great. But if it's a one player with AI or up to 3 friends, then I get skeptical immediately because it means you do need the 3 people, and the AI is always shit.
To be fair, Ben, I haven't seen any gameplay where you're by yourself. It's always with 2 others.
So I suspect it's either you're probably with AI, and that just puts me right off in something which is like a roguelike. And it's like, okay, well, if my AI fucks up, then see ya.
Puts you right off, does it?
It does indeed. But it looks all right.
All right, cool. Last one is a DLC. That's WWE 2K23, the Revel with Wyatt pack. DLC coming out on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox is July 19th. That one. That one's got 5 additional wrestlers and a just announced bonus wrestler in Uncle Howdy.
Oh, not amazing.
Oh well. So that's it from the new releases. I'm gonna say it's a good week. There you go. I'm going as big as saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Exo Primal really stood out.
Okay. It's an average amount of games, and then you've got 2 games there that I think are pretty good. So I think Jagged Alliance could be amazing as well. So
what's your game of the week?
I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Jagged Alliance 3.
It's gotta be.
I am very, very excited to see that, and I could be dropping some bank to play it.
It does look the best game, I think, from this lot. I think it does look the best game.
Yeah, agreed.
There you go. Not for you finder then.
If it was in VR, Kirk.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, let's move on to what we've been playing then. We'll start with Kirk.
Absolutely nothing! Sorry. I know I said I was going to play some more Horizon, didn't have a chance, was busy with other things last week, especially the weekend when I was out with the boys. Oh, wait, that was you.
You also said when we were out, you went, don't worry, I'll play more of Horizon.
I didn't realise I was going to feel like fucking shit yesterday, and I had to do a full day's work as well, and I just wanted to go to sleep by the end of it. So that's what happens when you get old.
I like your contribution to this podcast, Kurt. Just come on. Your news said at the very end of the news story, let's move on. And Ben had to say in the prep, Kirk, please don't move on quickly from this. It's the biggest news story of the year. And then you don't like any of the fucking games. And now you haven't played any games.
Would it have been better if I just not showed up?
And I think we both know what his contribution to the feature will be.
That's a bit harsh. Have you read my notes?
No, I'm looking forward to then, Kirk. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Don't jump the gun, baby. Anyway.
All right, okay, good. I'm
Maybe
looking
he's
forward to
saving
it,
all his airtime for the feature. We don't know.
Yeah, all right. I'm down for that.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, don't be surprised when there's...
No, okay. Don't go back on
spoil
yourself.
it.
Believe in yourself, buddy. Right, so I didn't do quite a Kirk. I did play.
I didn't do quite a
Diablo
Kirk.
4.
There's no need for that. Jesus.
I did play quite a bit of Diablo 4, obviously, prepping for Season 1. So I'm going to do a hardcore barbarian run, I think, on Season 1. So I'm just getting all the things that I mentioned in the news in the hardcore kind of realm. I'm going to be playing a bit more of that this week, and then I'll take a break until Season 1's out, I think. Okay. I was going to get Dave the Diver this week. Have you guys seen it? I know you've seen it, Eddie. Yeah. I think it looks all right, but Wertherby did say he's quite bored by it. But it's done really well.
Oh, yeah, but he also says he appreciates the game and he thinks it's good. He just isn't for him. Yeah,
It sold over 1 million copies already.
Fucking hell.
I know. It's only been out like a week. It's sold over 1 million copies. And it's like 15 quid on Steam, I saw it. So, but we, as Kirk said, we went to London, so I wanted to pick up a game that I could potentially play if we were up there. Now, obviously, felt goddamn awful when we were there, so I didn't play a lot of it. But good job, because I only paid £5 for it. I got Only Up, so Only Up being the latest PC game sensation that everyone's playing. So I got that. I got it on Steam Deck. I know it doesn't have full controller support, but it kind of does. They're not the easiest controls on Steam Deck, and when it does get full controller support, and it will come to console, because this has been a fucking sensation. It will.
Literally everyone's playing it. Even fucking Dr. Disrespect is playing it at the moment.
Yeah, everyone's playing. I've watched so many fucking runs of it. For those who don't know what it is, just look it up online. It's called Only Up. You can see speed runs of it in like 70. I think Distortion did it in 17 minutes. It's fun because watching people play it is good. Literally, the aim of the game is just to get from the ground to the highest point in the game to complete it. And you literally just go up, and it's climbing stuff, but there are opportunities to fall. When you fall, you can fall far, and you get picked up by something else previously in the game. There are no checkpoints in the game. It's like a one run and done kind of thing. And the first time of completing it could take like 4 hours on a run.
I've seen people take it. Didn't when it first came out, people were taking like 8 to 10 hours or something. Is that right?
Honestly, it just depends on what your run is, and it's how long you can play it for. Because if you could play it all in one run and you didn't have to get up from your chair, or you didn't have to pause the game and move on or whatever. I've seen streamers, but they can only stream for so long before starting again, and then it's basically starting from the start, isn't it?
I suppose.
Because no checkpoints. So I really like the look of this game. I'm not sure I can handle the Steam Deck controller kind of controls and see how that plays, but I might hook it up to my PC and just use an normal controller and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. Or mouse and keyboard's supposed to work brilliantly with it, so who knows? That might be the one that I use. But yeah, I haven't done an awful lot other than those two this week. I am interested in Dave the Diver though, so see if I play that. 15 quid as well. Can't really go wrong, can you?
No,
I know that's big money.
I thought you were going down. That's a lot for an unresearched game, but
look, it's a million people are playing it, and I did watch a streamer play an hour or two the other day, so could get into it. But let's move on to the most anticipated review
this is big.
Of the week. This is it. You've done two, Eddie. You've done two big games in 2 weeks. You did Death Stranding last week. That was riveting stuff. Now, you said last week you were going to play Redfall. What happened?
I played Redfall. Well, I will say now, State of Decay 2 I've been playing as my fun game for the past...
You bloody love that.
yeah, I really do. I've been playing it for the past like 3 weeks or so, I think, and I've finally completed... Well, I haven't completed it. I finished it on the hardest difficulty. So that is probably the best I'm going to do. So therefore... I have lost interest in that quickly. Okay. Kirk, you looked up on the weekend, didn't you? 292 hours.
Oh yes, that's over a few years, isn't it? So
yeah, I think I've come back to it probably 3 or 4 times. So
you always say that you come back to it. We've gone on car journeys where you spent half an hour talking about it.
Yeah, it's a good mechanical game. I'm very much looking forward to the third one. That could be.
Well, yeah, that development clusterfuck supposedly. So let's wait to see when that comes out. Absolutely. Probably on the next Xbox.
Nice. But yeah, I've been playing Redfall this week as well. Yeah, big game. I've broken it down to 3 sections just to kind of break down my feelings of it. First of all, the gameplay. So straight away when I jump in, I straight away thought it feels janky. It feels like bad to control. I actually tried to look up if you could change to third person, because do you know when you play a third person game in first person and it feels weird? Like when you move?
That's a really good take on it, actually, because it is almost like it's stuck in first person.
Yeah. I didn't feel comfortable walking around, and I just thought maybe it was my fucking controller. So that whole first bit on the boat, I was just like kind of sorting myself out and trying to work it out. But no, apparently it just feels shit, which is fine because you can kind of get away with that. However, the missions, fuck me, like. You know what? The missions sum up my whole feeling about this game. I'm not going to say it's a bad... Well, I am. I'm going to really say it's a bad game later. But I'm going to say, first and foremost, it's a boring game. It doesn't deserve my anger. It doesn't deserve an Eddy rant, because it's not a bad game like, oh, I wish they did this. It's just fucking boring. Like, all the missions I did were so, like, predictable and so boring. Like, go here, do that. Go here, do that. It probably didn't help that I didn't really have a major interest in playing this game, nor did I spend any money, obviously, because it's on Game Pass, but it just, nothing about this game made me want to carry on playing. I forced myself, day in, day out of last week, well, the past week and a half, really, of playing this game, but I'm telling you now, not once did I want to. Not once did I go, oh, I can't wait to get back on this game, because... And I think that all delves down to the missions are boring. There's a few other things about the gameplay that really pisses me off. You can't pause. You can't pause the game. I mean,
can you not? How
shit is that? Well, you can press start, Kirk, but it just takes you like to the map and your inventory, which is fine. But like when I press start and my controller started vibrating because someone was attacking me.
Oh.
In a pause, which I know what you're going to say, Ben. I know what you're going to say, because it's a multiplayer game and you can't pause those games, right? Is that
I'm going to support you, because when you start it as a single player game, you can now then, as far as I'm aware, turn this into a multiplayer game. It's not like somebody can then join you on your. I think you start as a single player game and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's an option to say like. Yeah, don't let people jump in or whatever.
Or yeah, they jump in, but it's just in your world, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
So, I suppose, like, and you wouldn't pause it then, but I am kind of with you. I do like being able to pause games that, if it's just you on the game...
You should be allowed to.
Oh, absolutely, Kirk. Yeah, absolutely should be able to. That should be, like, the first thing they fucking do. There should be an option anyway. But anyway, fine. You can't pick up weapons. I hate this in games, because it's immersion breaking. Like, when you kill someone... Like, I don't mind, like, there are a lot of games, like your Fallouts and whatnot, that make the weapons, like, so shit that it's not really worth picking them up, and that's fine, but, like, when you killed all these people and you want to pick up the weapons or you want to see what they're using against you, you can't. It's immersion breaking. I don't like it.
That is a good point. And the cars. You can't get in cars, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, Ben, you can't get in cars, you can't fucking open doors, you can't open windows, you can't do shit.
Tell you what you can what you can do. You can fucking blow up the cars after you've shot them with one bullet.
I tell you what, that links nicely to a bit that I'm saying about later. But let me just finish with the gameplay. To be fair, my first positive about the game, I didn't notice the 30 frames per second. It took Ben last week to go, how are you finding 30 frames per second? And I went, oh shit, yeah. I forgot it's 30 FPS. So,
that's an interesting point that you make there, Eddie, because I also didn't mind it. Like, I thought it looked a bit janky when I started. I definitely noticed it for the first 5 minutes. But I know Donnie always says, like, first, but he's always like a 60 FPS whore, and that's absolutely fine. Because, I like 60 FPS where it's available, absolutely. But he's hell-bent on FPS, like first-person shooter games, playing them in 60, and I definitely understand that viewpoint. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just this opened my eyes to the fact that it didn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that because it's a slow FPS game? Is that why it is, Eddie?
I don't know, mate.
It's just you don't really know. It's just not.
Yeah, let me get on to other grinds. The people and characters, holy fucking shit. Is it me, or are all games these days like just stupid people? Like childish characters. No one's normal anymore. I just want to be a normal character. Obviously, I went with the guy with the hood because I thought, well, he's fucking weird, but at least I can kind of feel like I'm him. The problem with having shit characters that are ridiculous who all wear a certain colour. Why are you wearing all purple? That doesn't make any sense to me. Or all bright yellow. People don't do that. But it's just immersion breaking. Not only is it immersion breaking, but it makes me go, I don't want my character to survive. Or I don't want to see him in a cutscene or whatever. All these things that make me go like, why the fuck do I have to play this guy?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just no. I'm just listening. I'm just listening to what you're saying.
That was a vocal listen, Kirk.
Let's move on to the vampires. Well, yeah, fuck me. Like, that's the bit of this game. Do you remember when we saw that advert? Like, not advert, like the footage where you went into the loft and the vampire was there and you shat your pants? Do you remember that?
Yes, I thought it looked great.
That looked amazing. I was so excited for this game then. And then, of course, all the gameplay that came between then and now, it just made it worse. And then I played it, and then it's even worse. Yeah, the vampires are so easy for a start, which is such a shame because you play all these people with guns and stuff that you think, oh, when I come across a vampire, it's going to be really scary. I remember on that first main mission where you go to a space and I saw one and I was like, shit, this is going to be terrifying. No, it's the easiest thing I've ever seen, which is so disappointing. I know I've got it on medium difficulty. Maybe I should put it up, but it's still unforgivable. They should have made the vampires really scary. And the problem is because the game's shit, there's moments where the vampire will just get stuck behind. Have you found these? I noticed when I went behind this kind of waist high wall, the vampire just stayed there hovering.
Yeah.
And what I did is when I went into a building next door and then I ran down and there was fucking loads of them, I just hid behind that wall and just killed them all.
Yeah, the vampires as AI are pretty shoddy, aren't they? And you just get out of eyesight, and it's just like you never existed and stuff.
Yeah. And then there's the when they move directly next to you as well. I think that's fucking stupid. Because I know it makes them better, but it just makes it immersion breaking, and I don't fucking know. And when do vampires' hands become so big?
You said
they're like the opposite of you, Ben. Their hands are massive.
You just...
Yeah, I'm no vampire. No vampire.
You are. Well, you are.
You wish you were. You wish you were a vampire.
I don't know if that's true.
I think it is, but okay, yeah.
You wish you had normal sized hands, Ben, and these guys.
Well, I do wear medium sized golf gloves. I repeatedly say this, but it falls on deaf ears.
But you have tiny hands. Let's move on to the world.
Gloves.
My last points. The world is okay. I think it looks okay. I don't like that all the doors are shut. You can't access fucking anything apart from obvious ones that you need to go into. It just doesn't feel like a lived-in world. I did hear streamers say this when they played it. They went oh, you never see anything. Don't get me wrong, I did see things now and again, but is it me or it just felt so dead and boring, and you compare it to walking through a Fallout world, and that felt alive. That felt like you were looking around every corner, shitting yourself. But this, at not one point did I go oh, I'm scared, I'm nervous, or what's around here?
It's that first mission, Eddie. You know when you do your little hideout to start with, and that's pretty gash in itself. It doesn't feel like you know any of these people. It doesn't feel like these people actually go about their business at all. It's just absolute fucking garbage. But then afterwards, it's okay, you've got to go and do the first mission. Then basically, you just have to walk forever, and you just walk in a straight line, and you just beeline it to this place.
Yeah. And
there's absolutely nothing in between. And you get there, and then there's just two or three vampires.
You lead it to perfect example, Ben. When I, because you go from the outpost to that helicopter. Well, I went from the outpost to the helicopter thing, and I remember getting out the map. And for a start, the map is tiny. Are there more areas?
Yes. So supposedly you do an area, but then you can't go back to the first area once you progress to the second one and stuff like that. I think.
I'm sorry. Combine all three. And then just have a loading screen, because I'm looking at that map and I'm going, this is unforgivable. But anyway, my point being is, when I planned out that route, because the world is so empty and not lived in, and the enemies are all too easy and spongy, instead of every other game where I map a route and I go, oh, this will be good, oh, this will be where I can get cover, I went, no, just fucking walk in a straight line, because it's shit. So what's the point? And guess what? Nothing came in my way until I got to the helicopter.
Yeah, agreed.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's £65 on Steam, which made me sick in my mouth, because this plays like a £20 game. Here's a twist, though.
Ooh.
It's developed by Arcane Studios, right? Who did Deathloop, Dishonored, Prey as well. I think you liked Prey, didn't you, Ben? Now, I think if Xbox didn't hype up this game so much, as in literally go, this and Starfield are our games, then I don't think this would have been advertised as such a huge game, and therefore I don't think people would have been so critical to it. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's a bad game, But I think if I paid like 20 quid for this game and I think it was just an okay game, just one of Xbox's releases, it's on Game Pass, I would have played it, gone, okay, and then put it away. I wouldn't have had the uproar that people are having, which I think is quite justified because I think everyone was so excited to play this. And I don't think it's Arcane Studios' fault. I think it's Xbox. I think they should release more games. Therefore, they don't need to hype up games that shouldn't be hyped up. So yeah. I mean, look, it's not a good game. It's not a good game. I don't like it. I can see if you played it, maybe multiplayer. It could be quite fun to play with your mates, but I don't think it's that good. But I'm not going to shit on the studio. I think the game is poor, and that's fine. You know, studios are allowed to make poor games. I just think Xbox fucked up, to be honest with you.
I think you've got a great point there that Xbox almost relied on this and had to build it up more because they didn't have any games and they had to delay this and Starfield, which then meant that, you know, there's even longer period before they had a bigger kind of AAA supposedly game.
Yeah.
Then this comes out. And I do think there's an issue as well that we have an expectation that first party games are very, very good and very polished. So they are, you know, 80s and upwards.
Yeah.
They're all decent games. We have an expectation. So days like Days Gone came out, and it came out pretty poorly in terms of reviews, and it gets crucified. But Days Gone is, and even when it came out a bit broken at the start, it's still much better than this game.
Yeah.
The Nintendo bring out first parties, and they all so polished and excellent, get amazing scores. PlayStation have kind of made the gold standard for that. Xbox can release a first party game, and it would appear that they're quite happy to release just a okay or a poor game or even a good game. You just literally don't know what you're getting. Like, it's almost like the first parties of Xbox aren't first parties. They're just people they own. Yeah, and that's the issue at the moment. Yeah. Like, you don't consider Naughty Dog, I don't consider them a studio that PlayStation own. I consider them PlayStation.
Yes.
And they deliver that PlayStation quality along with it. And PlayStation wouldn't release the game unless it had quality. Well, except for PC, Last of Us or whatever. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain expectation of quality. Xbox, you don't really have any expectation of quality with them, and it's so weird.
But it might be because they keep on gobbling up all the developers, so you don't think, they've gobbled up, so therefore there's accountability, there's resources, there's all that pumped into it. You actually more think it's just like an umbrella corporation where they just go, make sure you're doing your job properly.
And it's a good point with Redfall, because we discussed in the news quite recently that they supposedly were a bit hands-off with this game, you know, let them get on with it. And there's two things. You could let a studio like Arcane get on with the game, and it's like, well, yeah, of course we're going to let them get on with it because they're a known studio and they're excellent at what they do. We're not going to interfere with that. And then that could be praised when it comes out and it's an excellent game, and that's praised forever, like, oh, wow, what great management. But if it falls on its face, like this game did, you get the opposite, don't you? Oh, that shit management. They didn't know what was going on. They don't know. They're not managing. They're not managing the process. Blah 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 blah. And they just get crucified for it that way. Like, it's very hard to win. You have to get the luck of the draw.
Let me tell you, that's the interesting thing about Starfield is people are all going, Xbox better knock out the park. It's Bethesda that's going to knock out the park. They are the kings of knocking games out the park. Every game, nearly every game that Bethesda have made, I've gone, fuck me, this is a sensation. This is an absolute revelation in gaming. So when Starfield if Starfield does well, everyone's going to praise Xbox. But to be fair, it's fair enough if they do, because fuck me, if Starfield does poorly, people are going to crucify Xbox.
Yeah, take the praise as well as taking getting crucified.
Yeah. So let me tell you now, if Starfield does badly, I will crucify Xbox, and I probably won't forgive them, and I'll probably buy a PlayStation. However, if Starfield does well, I'll say stop praising Xbox, give all the praise to Bethesda. So there you go.
That's interesting. Just on that then, Kirk.
Yes.
I know you're not feeling Starfield too. It's not your type of game. I've yet to find what your type of game is after you confessed that Forza Motorsport wasn't your type of game either. But whatever. Are you gonna play? You're gonna play stuff. I just hope you fall in love with it, because you will play it. You'll try it.
I will give it a go. I need to. every fucker out there is like creaming themselves over it, and I need to.
God, Jesus! Some comments tonight, guys.
That's quite strong.
Come on, Ben ain't going to edit tonight, guys. You know that.
I know, that's why I'm saying it. No, I'm gonna give it a go. I want to see what all the fuss is about, and the only thing I feel I will struggle with is obviously it is going to be a big time sink, and I don't think what people are going to love about it, I'm going to be able to fully appreciate, because I'm not going to be able to put that time in. Yeah.
Because I think we'll lose friendship over it, to be honest with you. Because I think Starfield could well be my favourite game of all time, just looking at the mechanics and whatnot. And I can imagine us sitting here and you saying, "Oh, that's okay," and I can imagine me getting absolutely furious with you.
I mean, it's not going to be a case of I think that it's okay. I'm going to appreciate it for what it is, like you have recently started to do with certain racing games, rather than being a shithead saying that they are all shit. It's learning
mashed potato.
You don't even like them, Kirk.
That's not true.
He likes the picture mode.
Oh, fuck's sake! I can't even have a serious
conversation. Is it going to be your first RPG?
Oh fuck! I don't know.
That was a joke, and you're actually now considering
I think he's struggling to find one in his brain.
What are games? Tell me what a game is.
Oh, you've played Cyberpunk.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's an RPG, isn't it? So yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I heard last week somebody saying it's not an RPG. I don't know.
Who said that?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. People say a lot of things on Twitter,
don't they?
I mean, CD Projekt Red are predominantly, RPG games.
People said The Witcher and Cyberpunk aren't RPGs.
Oh my god, The Witcher is the most RPG. Like, are you fucking kidding?
I know. I think it's where you play a specific people have weird opinions about what Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I see. So their opinion is you're playing a specific character, so therefore it's not a role that you are playing. Well, you're a fucking idiot. You're playing the role of a Witcher.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't care what they say about Kirk. He's played an RPG, and it's Cyberpunk.
That's the route we're going down, are we?
I don't give a shit what they say about you, Kirk. You're all right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Keep it moving, mate.
Right.
Let's go.
Well, thanks for that, Eddie. I like that. Let's move on.
I would now. Hang on. I just want to point out, just to give Eddie some kudos as well, because he did really good there with explaining Redfall.
Yeah.
But I would like to also point out his commitment, even whilst he was out with the boys. Things were triggering in his mind that he had to put notes on his phone to when he was gonna.
You picked me up on that.
We
were in the end bar, and you were like, "Eddie,
I love
it." Notes on Redfall.
I loved it.
Like, I just completely forgot about this.
So yeah,
wherever I am, like I've done it on the golf course before. Like, got the phone. I forgot that I did that.
I appreciate the commitment to the pod, Eddie.
There you go. You're welcome.
All about that. Yes, good stuff. So let's move on to the feature. As I said at the start, in the spirit of Wimbledon, we're going to be talking about tennis games. Now, obviously, Kirk is going to contribute massively because he said he was section about 20 minutes ago. So I really look forward to that. So we'll move to him shortly. But our questions are really about where are the good fucking tennis games and what are our favourite tennis games of modern times. And is tennis as a game concept lately? Is it actually just a bit boring in modern gaming? So, yeah, where do we start? Eddie, do you have an affinity with any tennis games?
I used to be a big tennis player, which makes sense because I am fat.
You did play tennis, though.
I did, yeah. Pretty good at tennis.
Pete's excellent at tennis. Pete's excellent at tennis.
Pete's very good at tennis. I believe I'm one of the few people that have actually beaten him at tennis, which...
He wouldn't want you to say that.
Well, all right. A disclaimer: Pete has beat me way more times than I beat him. There you go. Is that a disclaimer? Would that make?
I think he'd rather say like every time other than that one time, but it doesn't matter.
No. Right. Yeah. So I played a lot of tennis when I was younger. I played a lot of tennis games as well. To be honest, the Virtua Tennis.
Yeah.
And then of course, was it the Top Spin was it Top Spin?
Oh, Top Spin games. Yep.
I think it was Top Spin, wasn't it? Yeah. So I played them later on. To be honest with you, I played them quite a lot when I was younger. Now, I don't know. There's two things that I thought when you suggested this this feature that I thought of. Like, I don't know if it was because I was really into tennis when I was younger, or maybe that I didn't mind simpler games. So what I mean by that is I could, if you made me play a tennis game for a week now, I don't think I could do it. Because I even like when I play football games, when I play normal sport games, I get bored because I go, you're doing the same thing on the same pitch, like over and over again. It's why I don't play FIFA in single player mode anymore. Because I find myself, 5 hours deep into a gaming session in the evening going, I've been looking at the same football pitch for the past 5 hours. I think it's the same with tennis. Like, not only would you be looking at the same tennis court the whole time, but also the mechanics are the exact same. It is, right, I need to do a drop shot when they're at these certain points. So it becomes extremely mechanical. It makes it almost like a tick box exercise. So I think as my taste have matured and I've gone I want more complex game, I honestly, I haven't played a tennis game in so long. Apart from, of course, when everyone fucking played Wii Tennis. Obviously.
I think they're all that's a really good point, Eddie. I mean, Kirk, come on then, tell us about your tennis game career.
Strapping, guys, you're gonna love this. So,
love it.
Tennis has never interested me.
Surprising!
It's
not your type of game.
I know. Sport,
I would have
right?
never guessed that coming from you.
No, there's. It's not really the kind of thing that I've ever liked, like as a sport, just because it's just Pong, but in real life.
What sport do you like?
We know it's on record that I don't do much sports. Okay, if you take one look at me, you go, he's a man that doesn't like sports.
I wasn't going down that route,
yes.
Kirk. I wasn't.
But Eddie is because he's he's a fella.
I can because I'm fat.
Yeah, so. He gets away with it. No, it's just not. I can appreciate what football is. It's that can be exciting and joyful, and I understand why people would love to play a football game because they want to reenact what they see on the pitch and on TV and all that kind of stuff. But with tennis, it's just like, what is the enjoyment? I mean, we watched some this weekend, and I was just like, it's just mindless. Like it.
Yeah, Kurt.
Like
I was fucking disappointed because I couldn't work out how to bet on who's going to win the next set. That sports will betting for me.
There you go.
I was furious.
So like this that's the fundamental problem. Like if a thing doesn't really interest me in real life, and you've got some form of a simulator or sports game or something that is trying to reenact what you like watching in real life, it's not gonna hit for me. Which then
fuck me, but you don't like doing anything in real life, Kurt. So how the fuck are you gonna get interested in a computer game?
I have no idea, mate. I mean, we tennis
simulator.
Nah, that would be fucking amazing. Someone needs to do that. We tennis was fun for 5 minutes, but that's because it was
for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
I mean, that's a slight exaggeration. Let's go 50 minutes, okay? It's just you need something that is that takes it up to the next level because the fundamental basis of tennis is not fun. And I said about Pong comparison. I mean, video games have moved on a lot since then. Pong is just tennis, just it with 2 bars and a dot.
Oh wow, that's a big comment going out here.
Comment.
I'm saying it, and I'm sticking to it. All right.
I can imagine, Kirk, and this is, I mean, it's probably a small amount of disrespect to you, but when you're playing when you're younger, you're playing tennis, and even at school or something, you play tennis with other people. It's absolute shite because most people are so wank that they can't hit the ball back. And I imagine you were that side, and I'd be on the other side of the net, hitting it to you, and you'd never return it. So it's just a bad time. And I can imagine that's sitting with you, and you never then.
So you think that's why?
I can imagine he's the type that would go, "Oh, this sport's shit." It's not I'm shit. It's this sport.
No, it's this sport.
Okay, I was fucking shit at skateboarding, but I love skateboarding games. Tell me that then. Exactly. You've got nothing. You've got nothing.
Great point, Kirk.
Right.
That's fantastic.
What about you?
That's the kind of pushback that I like.
What about you, Ben?
Right. First of all, I'm going to say that I think you're onto something, Eddie, because when I was younger, I played loads of tennis games. I think tennis games are brilliant for young people because I think because it's so simple. The game of tennis is very easy to understand the rules, and it's just it's quite easy to get on with. I think I played a hell of a lot of tennis when I was a real youngster. On the NES, I had the game called Tennis.
Brilliant.
And on the SNES, I had Super Tennis. And I used to play that at my sister's all the time. Whenever we'd go around there, like, that's what I would play. And it's just a good fucking game. But the best tennis game that I've ever played, and there's a few reasons for this. I played Smash Court Tennis 2. It's on the PS2. I used to play it with my brother all the time. It felt so fucking realistic, but it had this one mechanic which is actually in the latest golf game that came out, the PGA game that literally just came out. You got the EA free trial with the 10-hour thing. It's got the thing in the career system that you have the key moments. Like, you don't play full games, so you'll do like the US Open or something, but you'll have key moments in games where you'll play like key points or key games.
Yeah.
And you know, you do that well and you progress and you still might lose because your character hasn't developed points because it's like an RPG type thing, and then you go around the world doing training, blah, blah, blah. Like, those old school games, it's still, you've got to do the shit training and that kind of stuff. But that mechanic of doing the key moments, I hadn't actually seen in any other sports game. And now it's quite common, I think, in these like in the golf game, like I just said, like that, you can turn it off and you can do the full games, obviously. That is an option. So if you wanted to do the US Open, because it's a career, it's a full career, you've got all the different competitions that you enter, and then there are the 4 majors or whatever. And it just seemed like so that there was a hell of a lot to do on that game. And I think tennis games before that didn't really have as much from what I'd played. I also played like endless hours against my brother. Because it was a game that had Roddick, and I was just pure power server, you know, trying to get that 150 mile per hour serve. And I remember him going away to university, and so he didn't play for a few months, and then he came back and just got absolutely fucking smashed. That was the first time I beat him. It's great, absolutely magnificent. What a game! So yeah, that and then I've played other tennis games, but just really disappointed with the Mario Tennis games.
I've got something for you here, Ben. How about Tennis Manager? Because that obviously is a more acquired taste. We play management games. I'll tell you my point quickly. Is I will never play it because it's a tennis, so it's just like one person, and then it's like your options are very limited. While why don't you just play any other management game, a football manager, even a fucking cycling manager game? So
I don't know, because you're like you're manager of like a roster of people, right? So it's basically like putting a team together almost.
Right.
And I think you have to follow events and things like that. I was just put off with the last one because they kept banging on about basically the Davis Cup, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, that was the main focus. Like,
Yes,
this fucking
it was, yeah.
Davis Cup. Who gives a fuck about the Davis Cup? Like, Wimbledon. I don't care if you call it the UK Open or whatever. Just, I want that stuff. But I actually, my mouse button is hovered over Tennis Manager a couple of times. I am not going to lie. I'm all about those management games. I've been interested in Cycling Manager, but I thought, well, that's probably beyond my knowledge. I'd liked that one, but that's beyond it. I had Greyhound Manager back in the day, and Greyhound Manager 2.
Greyhound Manager.
Yeah,
Who made that? Come on.
Great guy. Yeah, I'm all about management games, and yeah, I almost feel like, because I don't know of any modern good tennis game.
No.
Like, do we know? Was Topspin Tennis 4? Was that the pinnacle of where people say tennis games went? Like,
I have looked into it, and to be fair, there are a lot of tennis games, and yet hardly any released recently. So
yeah,
I don't remember the last time one came out.
I don't think there's a. What? Say that again, Kurt?
I don't remember the last time one came out.
Yeah, because I'm not aware of it, and if it did, it hasn't been. It must be pretty shit because nobody's talking about it.
Nope.
So maybe, as I said, I think it's great for young people. I don't think tennis translates on a game. I just think Manager is the future.
I think this comes back to what I said though, with the whole like it's not the kind of thing that it's just not an interesting. It's interesting in real life to watch. There's obviously people have they have the people that they enjoy watching. There are things that happen in the sport which can be exciting, but that just doesn't happen when you play it. It's very much just a back, back, forth, and that's it.
I've got something to counter that, Kirk. But very quickly, on Game Rant, of one of their articles, which is the best tennis games of all time, it says the best rated by everyone was Top Spin 4, which of course came out in 2011. And interesting, it says over 10 years on, it's still the best tennis game to play.
Oh, wow.
So that's a bit boring. But I've got something for you, Kirk. I have, and this is weird. This thought originated when I used to play ice hockey games hardcore, and all I wanted was to control. I wanted so much freedom that the left stick controlled the person and the right stick controlled the stick. Right? How about this for a tennis game? Exact same premise. So, if you move your right stick over to the left and like down and up. And I would love so much freedom that if you did it, the quicker you did it, the harder you hit.
Yeah.
The earlier you did it, the more left it went. The quicker you did it, as in, later, then it will go to the right. And therefore, every shot that you played would actually be like it's your skill that's done that. Like, I
that
just
is
think,
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a concept that I've always wanted.
I guess golf games now, don't they? They you swing the club.
Yeah, well, they do it with the golf games.
I guess the only thing with that is the 360-degree strafing with the left, but you wouldn't be able to have the right thumbstick. Like there would be a limit to how far you can go or where you come from with the tennis racket, right?
Well, maybe not. Maybe if you swing it all the way around, you do a little spin.
Okay, yeah.
I want ultimate freedom. That's what I want.
Yeah, fair enough.
And maybe your stats, so for example, like power, means it's the quicker you can react. If you flick it too quickly and your person doesn't have the power stats to do it, then you won't be able to hit it that hard. So I don't know. There's something there.
Little limp hits.
Little limp hits. Let's be honest. Tennis games are dead. So I
think so. Yeah, for me, like it's not necessarily the mechanics of the tennis game because there have been good ones of that. And when they say like Top Spin Tennis was the best one or whatever, and it's 12 years old, yeah, it probably was the most fun mechanically then on the court, and that does matter. But for me, it's all about the career mode. Like you gotta have a fucking stacked career mode that makes you want to play. And the old method of like going around the world and training different things and doing the shit little MIDI games, fuck off. I don't want any of that nonsense. I want a good solid career mode. And sports games, for me, like, they have to have that. Otherwise, it's just you play online. And it becomes so repetitive. And that's what these games are. And I suppose you are just looking at the same fucking court.
Yep.
And just hitting the same points.
Yeah.
There needs to be something else to it. But I don't know, where are the tennis games? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're gone. They're dead.
Fair enough.
Yeah, all right. That's that. So, yeah, probably apologise for our lower energy because of our
We're sorry.
illnesses.
I think I've been quite angry this week, actually.
I thought you perked up, Eddie. When I asked for vim and vigour, you did deliver. So I'm not aiming that at you.
What I was worried about is how long we were going to be because we were all dying at the beginning, and we've actually pulled off a longer episode than an hour and a half. So Pete's going to be furious. Yeah.
I thought that when we were getting towards the end of what we've been playing at about an hour. So I thought, oh boy, this is gonna stick out. But yeah, never mind. Anyway, if you guys know a tennis game that has come out that we completely overlooked and it is actually good and it's modern, let us know because I wouldn't mind playing it because I've been watching a bit of Wimbledon and I am quite interested. Otherwise, I'll be getting Tennis Manager. But you can email us with that on podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk or you could tweet us at grumpygamerspod. But until next week, it's GG.
What was that delay?
I was kind of thinking, when you think and you just look down and you go, is that everything? Yeah. So it's GG. It's GG.
GG.
GG.